why is it important for people to fund the ministry, to fund the kingdom through Seven Rivers?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy to hear that they're running out of room, because my graduating class was 11 people, so we didn't have that problem then. So that's just awesome. It's encouraging to hear that the school is growing.
My senior year, I took an apologetics class, which taught us a lot about what we believe in so that we can tell others what we believe in or defend what we believe in. And I remember my freshman year of college going back to that class a lot whenever I was talking to new people I met or people that didn't necessarily believe in the same things I believed in.
I was able to leave Seven Rivers with a worldview based in the gospel and based in Christ and who He is, not because of my own merit, but because of how Seven Rivers Christian School trained me to be able to differentiate between the truth and what people will try to tell you is the truth.
My senior year, God brought me to Seven Rivers, and it was for a specific reason, and I believe that was for me to become a Christian, and that's wonderful.
I loved having someone I could talk to about not only English or math, but the gospel connected to those subjects. So to have Bible, but to have it incorporated in every subject meant a lot to me, and I can't imagine not having that looking back now.
In every class I took, whether it was Miss Jeffis in English, whether it was her in economics, Mr. James in math, they always reminded us the fact that the knowledge that we have gained was through God, and it was given us by Him, and that although we are human, that knowledge is passed on to us, which He did at Seven Rivers. And there aren't any words that can describe the experience you get out of that about learning about your God at the end of the day.
I learned a lot on how to be a woman with integrity and how to actually live as the woman that is described in the Bible, because I saw it through them every day, whether in the classroom, at home, with their own kids, and I just really look up to them for that, and I appreciate that they took time out of their day to not only teach me, but to shape my life.
The values that are instilled in me by following God are just respecting women, following through on your word, dedicating yourself to your work, and just realizing at the end of the day it's to further the kingdom and to further Him.
I think that it gave me a huge desire to quickly get plugged in to a church and to campus ministry, and that was like the first thing I did.
And that's something that has directly applied to my life here in Tallahassee and at FSU. I was always encouraged to find a home here, and not just with friends, but in a church. And that's one thing that is invaluable to me.
That having that kind of community is definitely something that I would encourage everybody to fight for when they come to college, because I think it's really important to help you kind of stay sane. So that was really important to me.
I think we know what a good church looks like because we've seen a good church, and we know what a healthy church should look like and how it should run.
Seeing how much joy and full of life these teachers and youth workers and people in the church were, and without that, I also wouldn't have seen the joy in churches and Christian communities. But because of that, I see so much richness and joy in Christian communities, and I always, for the rest of my life, I want to be a part of one.
Growing up in a community where people loved me constantly and people told me when I was honest with them about my failures, it's okay that you have failed, God still loves you. He still died for you, and you are still His perfect and beloved child.
As a lot of people know, my mom, Nancy Alberry, worked at the school from 2000 to 2003, and she passed away my senior year of high school. And of course that was hard for me. My father's not been in the picture ever. So I was 17 and my little sister was 10 at the time. And but I have said this several times, if I hadn't been at that school and at that church, I don't know how I would have made it.
My identity does not rest in my academic performance or in how well I perform at sports activities, or how I look, or how I act, or what I do, how many friends I have. Coming to FSU, to a college campus with 40,000 students, all of those things that you really valued in high school are ripped away from you, and you're left sometimes trying to fill that void with other things. But having the training that I did from Seven Rivers, I was reminded constantly that is not where I can find my worth. My worth will be found in Christ alone and His love for me.
I think just having that support is, not that I'm some super success story, but my husband and I, we have a great marriage. We've been married for almost 8 years. We have a wonderful church here in Tallahassee. We have a wonderful home, and I just think I wouldn't be in the same place if I hadn't had that foundation from going to a church and school like Seven Rivers, or I just don't know that it would have been the same outcome for me. I don't know if I would have maybe gotten bitter or gotten discouraged or something along the way, but I never felt like that, and I always felt like I could achieve what I wanted to, and I think a lot of that's to do with Seven Rivers and the support I got there.
They were chosen to be there for a reason, and they all shaped who I am today. Even though I was there for a year, I truly believe that I've taken really good characteristics from each and every one of them into who I am today and the man that I will become. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank Seven Rivers and the Presbyterian Church for helping me.